Welcome to Janry Pet Resort, where pet luxury has never been more affordable. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Good morning, Dave. It's good to see you again. So today we're going to talk a little bit about grooming. That's where we left off in the last podcast.
Grooming is a lot more challenging than people realize. I have 2 shepherds. I spend so much time brushing them. Sometimes I fill up an entire trash can of hair.
They have these tufts where you can almost pull them out. And those little tufts just fall and they create so many little dust bunnies that you're constantly sweeping up, besides the normal shedding that happens the other times of the year when they're not, quote unquote, blowing their coat out.
You know why I say blowing their coat out?
Why is that?
Because I just have always heard Jane say that. But shedding.
It's shedding. In the grooming world, it's called blowing out their coat because they're literally blowing their undercoat out.
And what a world grooming is. The meticulous nature of a groomer.
Women and men both go to the barbershop, they go to the hairdresser, and you're there for, depending on what you're having done, you're there for a little bit of time, and all they're doing is working on your head. You might be able to bathe your dog in your bathtub at home when it's younger. Schedule a groom for your dog so it can come to another place, it can meet the groomer. The groomer can start training it and teaching it how to stand on the table, how to be around the sound of clippers and blowers, because we want the grooming experience to be a very enjoyable, relaxing, non-stressful experience. And that starts from a puppy, because there are some dogs that need to be groomed every 5 to 7 weeks. And there's a difference between your short-haired dogs and your dogs that need haircuts, and how much grooming per se goes into each type of dog. There's a difference in your hair coat. There's a difference between your haired dogs, which would be considered your like Malteses and your Havaneses, and dogs that have a coat like a poodle or a doodle. One thing people don't realize is the amount of work that goes into the care of just the hair on a doodle. And it doesn't matter if it's a Bernedoodle or a Labradoodle. There's a doodle pretty much for everything. And when you think about it too, you have to go back and you have like your cockapoos. Cockapoos are technically doodles. It's a Cocker Spaniel Poodle mix.
Grooming also includes getting their nails clipped.
Correct.
And you know that my female shepherd, I have to actually give her medication and take her to get her nails clipped because she just won't hold still for me.
A nail trim is considered grooming. And it's so important when you get a puppy that you're constantly playing with their feet. And it's not just when you're playing with their feet as a puppy. Like my dogs now, I'm grabbing their feet. I'm putting my fingers between their pads. I'm constantly desensitizing their feet so that when we go to do their nails, their feet were touched 3 days ago. We haven't gone 5 months since the last time I touched their feet. It's just something subconsciously, if they're laying next to me, I'm playing with their feet. And that makes it so that we can put our dogs on the table to trim their nails, and they just sit there and they're just like, whatever, you're always touching my feet anyway, so just do what you need to do.
But how about the people that don't get their dog's nails trimmed? From what I've learned since being here, it's dangerous.
Your dog's nails are going to continue to grow, and they can easily get that nail caught on something. That can break the nail off to the point where they bleed, and now they have to go to the vet. They have to be put on antibiotics so they don't get an infection. They might have to have it cauterized. Their nail is just like our fingernail. They have a quick, and if that breaks back past the quick, it's going to continue to bleed and bleed and bleed, and sometimes you can't get it to stop, and you have to take them to the vet. So you need to keep their nails trimmed. That's one reason. The other thing is, so with domesticated dogs, that nail hitting the ground when it's too long is going to put undue stress on the joints of the feet, of their toes, and up into their ankles, because you're literally changing the natural set of their feet because their toenails are pushing their joints out of whack. You've got pain, you've got an increased chance of arthritis, lameness. Just think of yourself when you hurt your knee or you hurt your ankle. What's the next thing that hurts? I hurt my ankle, now my knee hurts. If I'm limping around enough, now my hip's starting to hurt. Just think if that's an everyday thing that can just be quickly fixed by a cut of the nail.
So grooming is not just a luxury.
No, it's a necessity.
It's a necessity.
And it's a necessity not only for nail trims, it's a necessity for haircuts for the dogs that need haircuts.
And why is that?
That is because of matting. There's some dogs that you need to brush on a regular basis when they have longer hair. You want to make sure that you're brushing that dog, from small dogs to big dogs. Golden retrievers, let's use them as an example. They can mat up between their thighs. They can mat up in their armpits of their front legs. They can mat up behind their ears. And if you think of what a mat is, it's a ball of hair that's being pulled from the skin. It's to the point where you have inflammation, redness. that can rip the hair out, and now you have a wound. Matting can also cause things like hot spots. Now, there's some breeds, I will say this, you have some breeds like the Poolies. A Poolie is a breed of dog that actually naturally dreads. I have never seen a dreaded Poolie in real life. I have seen shaved Poolies, but I have not seen an actual dreaded. But that on itself, you'll only typically see dogs that are naturally dreaded in the show world, and those dogs are being groomed every 5 to 6 weeks.
There's so much more to it than just smelling and looking spectacular. What are some health reasons why grooming is so important?
Dogs grow their hair on their rear end. You want to make sure that hair stays away from the private area of the dog, whether it's a male dog or a female dog. That can cause an infection. You have a lot of skin conditions that can happen from hair not being groomed. You have sores that can develop. You have a matted dog that goes out and gets wet, comes back into the house, that can become a fungal infection. Those are the things that you have to really be aware of. The importance of grooming is equal to the importance of veterinary care. When I say the 5 to 7 weeks, those are dogs that need haircuts. The dogs like your beagles and your labs and those types of dogs, they don't need to be bathed every 5 to 7 weeks. Now, should their nails be trimmed? Should their ears be cleaned? Of course. But when actual bath, they don't need that as often because they don't have as high of a chance or almost any chance of matting and getting dreads or knots in their hair. But then again, you still want to make sure that you're scheduling them for a bath regularly because we all know what our dogs like to roll in at home. The short-haired dogs do also shed, just like the longer-haired dogs. They do kind of blow their coat, like we were talking about earlier with your shepherds. They do kind of do that, but we don't see as much hair at one point in time. Anybody who has a pug, you can raise your hand because you know your pugs shed constantly all the time. They never stop shedding. It is just as important for them. Plus, I like to pet my dog and not have my hand come off full of dog hair or not worry about vacuuming my house quite as often.
I have a vacuum cleaner that I specifically use just for dog hair, and that's after brushing them and filling up an entire kitchen trash can filled with hair.
Yeah.
But it's less hair to vacuum up.
It's less hair to vacuum up.
And plus, they love it.
Oh, dogs.
My dogs love getting brushed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like being pet everywhere.
There's nothing to me that a dog would love more than being brushed by their owners. And that is a bonding experience that people can have with their dogs. You're getting the hair off, plus you're bonding with your dog because you're teaching them that it's okay to be brushed.
So I see a lot of dogs coming in for spa days. What is the spa day, Eileen?
What that is you drop your dog off in the morning. A lot of people do it before work. They'll drop their dog off in the morning. Their dog spends the morning in daycare, whether it's individual where they go out and play with a counselor, they can go out in group and play. Then they head over to grooming. They get their bath or they get their haircut, and they're ready then to go home after work. And the great thing is that you get the daycare part for free if you sign up for it. So the great thing about the spa membership club is that your dog comes in, they play all morning. It's a great experience for them. And then heading into grooming because now they're relaxed and they can enjoy having the bath and the pampering that happens in grooming.
What a beautiful experience you can give your dog.
Oh, yeah. And you know what the thing is that you never have to think about it. You never have to say, oh man, I forgot to set that appointment up last time, because you already have an appointment set. And we fill up really fast. And this locks in and guarantees your spot for the entire year.
Plus, they get to hang out with their friends.
Exactly.
Take a walk on the nature trail. All right, sign me up. The most amazing thing that I've witnessed since being here, aside from having a vague idea about dog grooming, is the microbubbles.
Yes. So the Thera-Clean Microbubble machine takes water and it breaks the water down into microbubbles that are between 3 and 20 micromillimeters, which means they are so small that little microbubble of water can actually penetrate the hair follicle and bring it to the top to get it away from the dog's skin. This thing is miraculous when it comes to dogs that have skin allergies, hair loss, are prone to hot spots. It's great for older dogs who have arthritis issues because They are actually in a tub full of these bubbles. We fill the tub up and the dogs just relax in it, and they just sit there or they lay there, and it's warm water and it's just so soothing for them. They've used topical treatment from their vet. They've used pills from their vet. They've kind of gone as far as they can go. And obviously we can't see it with the human eye. They'll come in once a week. They'll do a treatment. And within probably 4 to 6 weeks, we'll start seeing little tufts of hair poking up. When I am done using that for the dogs, it is amazing because our hands are in it while we're doing this for the dogs. So those microbubbles are going into our skin as well. I have never had softer hands. It's an amazing product. This, like everything, is not a one-time fix-all situation.
Right. It takes consistency.
And that's exactly it. So you have to reschedule and bring them back and do it consistently for your dog. Remember, the skin is the largest organ on the body. That goes for humans and it goes for dogs. We groom 5 days a week. The days we don't groom are going to be Wednesdays and Sundays. If your dog's here for a boarding, grab that bath, add a bath onto them, because I lodge my dogs here when we go on vacation. And sometimes I think to myself, you know what, I'm not going to have you guys do the bath. I'll do the bath. I can do the bath when I get home. Not a problem. But I'll tell you what, when I come home from vacation, I don't want to do it. And this is what Jane always says. I want it to jump in the sheets with me. I want cuddles. I want cuddles when I come back from vacation with my dog. And I'm going to give my dog a bath. And we're here to bathe your short-haired dog. We're here to give your long-haired dog a haircut, or to just brush your dog out, trim their nails for you. We're here to clean their ears. That's no problem. We're here for you because we know how busy you are.
The owners are so happy to see how happy their dogs are for wanting to be here. It makes it easier to go about your day,
of course,
knowing that your children with fur are just as happy to be here.
Exactly. And next week we'll talk about doggy daycare. I think we'll talk about the evaluation process, because that's always a question that people have when it comes to group play. And we'll talk about kind of what a day looks like for doggy daycare and why is daycare so good for dogs.
Dogs, they can't speak for themselves.
Correct.
We are their voices.
Exactly. So we will wrap it up today, and we will be back again to talk about doggy daycare and all of the things that go into doggy daycare. I want to thank everyone for joining us, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.